I had 67 wounds, no? Shrapnel wounds. At nasubukan ko na rin na nadala sa morgue. May
As in, akala patay kayo?
All my vital signs were zero. So my pancreas got ruptured, a portion of the left lobe of my liver, and 6 feet of my small intestines were cut off. They operated on me for 13 hours, no? 3 sets of doctors. Kung saan, sabi ko nga, yung unang asawa ko kasi was a surgeon. But she died naman right after I led the rescue of Father Nacorde in Basilan in 1994. So, pag titignan naman nila kasi, I'm one of a few, if not the only one, according to them, who has fought all the armed groups in the Philippines in actual combat. The CPP-NPA, the MNLF, the Abu Sayyaf, and the MILF. Ano yan? No? Nasa record naman yan. No? I led the neutralization of Abu Sabay in 2002. No? Led the rescue of Franz Kunsli in Look Sulu in 1986. Of course, there were I got promoted to captain just 4 years after graduation in 1983 when I neutralized 7 MNLF commanders in southern Palawan. So I got promoted 3 years ahead of my class, 2 months ahead of my senior, mga class 76 sa PMA. And then, pabalik-balik ako diyan sa puerto, sa Palawan na yan. There was a notorious MNLF commander, Raquel Carrion. Hinanap nila, he ambushed a Puerto Real bus, torched it, killing 6 civilians. A massive military manhunt was launched. They pulled out a unit from Zamboanga to augment the 4th Marine Battalion na naandun ngayon sa Palawan. And for 2 months, hinanap nila yon. Hindi nila nakuha. I arrived July 22, 1988. July 24, namatay na siya. So,
ganun kabilis?
Yeah. So, dinala ko yung mga bangkay nila, dinala ko doon sa munisipyo ng Brooks Point. Parang piyesta kasi notorious na extortionist yung tao na yon. And then just 10 days after that operations, lakad uli ako. This time CPP-NPA naman dun sa Aburlan. And would you believe I was able to recover 11 high-powered firearms. Yung commander na, yung kaninong na sinasabi na never surfaced, meaning kasi hindi namin kaagad nababaan na i-retrieve yung mga bangkay nila kasi bangin yung nasa harap namin. So we have to maneuver ba? Akyat kami doon sa taas. By the time na makarating kami ron, na itakbo na nila yung mga casualties nila. But all their firearms, mga voluminous subversive documents na iwan naman nila. That was in 1988. No? August 4, 1988. So, marami, no?
Pero yung Colonel, balikan lang natin ng konti yung background ho yung muntik na ho kayong mamatay. Ano po ba nangyari doon? Bakit po nauwi sa ganun?
I led the assault of Camp Aguinaldo in 1989.
Okay.
I was a military reformist, no? And that was the time na when I was hit by a helicopter rocket from a helicopter gunship. They thought I was already dead. Pero lahat ng pinagdaanan ko na yan, no? Kasi sabi ko nga, when I first joined being a military reformist, I was teaching in PMA. August 28, 1987. The chief of staff then was President Fidel Ramos, no? And when I led the assault of Camp Aguinaldo in 1989, December, he was the Secretary of National Defense. But he has this to say, yung message niya ba? Ang sabi niya, referring to me, not only was he an excellent warrior in the jungles fighting terrorism and insurgency, he too represents a class of thinking Filipino soldiers, imbued with a sense of idealism to take the urgent measures, if necessary, to assert their belief of how and what this country should be. Wow, sabi ko. Isipin mo, I was twice jailed, twice given amnesty, experience being brought to the morgue of the Quirino Labor Hospital. That's why when I'm asked now, sabi ko, I've seen and felt a lot of sufferings while out there in the field fighting all the armed groups in the Philippines, no? And while in jail twice for fighting for what I believe was right. So I said, why can't we all sit down, settle these differences, and to end all armed struggles for us to progress, and not until we get united, we will never progress. No, I appeared before Congress in December, last year, December 5, and I told them, nothing positive will come out of all these peace talks if the government, for its side, will not shape up to address corruption, social injustice, poverty, non-delivery of basic services, unemployment, military abuses, police brutalities. Yes. So
Malaking problema.
Malaking problema. So the best antidote to all this, of course, is, I always say this because it is the best antidote, no? It's good governance, aided by a well-disciplined men in uniform. No police brutalities, no military abuses. Now that the military has its highest rating, why can't the other agencies catch up? For us really, to end all these armed struggles, kasi I met somebody who's from the Makabayan block. I spoke in Boracay before the Prosecutors League of the Philippines. And then sabi niya sa akin, dahil mason siya, Kuyang, pwede ba ako magpa-picture sa'yo? Matagal na kitang Pero sabi niya, we've been following you, your lahat na mga interviews. It only takes ba a ruthless and a credible, ruthless warrior like you to talk about peace.
Galing naman.
Kasi you've been through it.
Colonel, before we go dun sa mga health regimen niyo po, no? Kasi at 68, di ba? Nakita naman parang napaka-healthy ni Colonel. Muntik naman mamatay dati, no? Sa matikas pa. Anong take mo dito sa as a military officer? Anong pananaw niyo dun sa nangyayari ngayon diyan sa West Philippines?
Yeah. Well, palagi ko sinasabi na dati-dati kasi na destino tayo diyan. And during the late 70s and early 80s, Marines were manning those yung Kalayaan Island Group. When I arrived there in 1983, kung saan na-neutralize ko nga yung 7 MNLF commanders, the Marines were being pulled out na. Why? Kasi ang sabi nila, yung insurgency problem daw natin nagkaroon na parang lumakas na. And the Marines then was a very credible, very effective maneuver force. Inalis sila. Later on, we had an encounter. My unit had an encounter with the CPP-NPA in Quezon, Palawan. That is fronting by West Philippine Sea. What did they find out in that laptop computer? Nakalagay doon is strengthened foothold along the shorelines. At that time, nakuha na ng China yung mischief reef. So what does that mean? Ang isa lang kasi ginamit ito ni former Senate President sa isang privilege speech niya. Ang sabi ko, yung ibig sabihin nun, guguluhin lang tayo ng China. Kasi yung insurgency problem natin, makikita mo, CPP-NPA is Mao-oriented, Mao-inspired. China yan. Yung una na reports namin na pinanggalingan nitong armas at mga bala nung mga secessionist groups allegedly came from Pakistan, a surrogate of China. So, doon mo makikita na talagang ginulo lang tayo internally para mawalan tayo ng focus sa West Philippine Sea. So, yung West Philippine Sea yan, atin yan.
Bago sa
atin yan. Yung Ayungin na sinasabi na Ayungin Shoal, it's only 185 kilometers from our shorelines. More than 1,000 kilometers away from China.
Oo naman. Ang crazy nga ng kanilang para
so,
i-claim yun
Yes. So parang ang distansya noon is mag-travel ka from Manila to Lucena, Quezon.
Layo, no? So tama yung ginagawa ngayon ng gobyerno?
Yes.
Tama yan?
Yes. Ang sabi ko lang nga palagi, let us assert ba aggressively our sovereign rights.
Yeah.
Kasi ang napansin ko rin, no, na nung naandyan yung mga Marines noon, ang nakalagay doon na defense plan was hammer and anvil. Meaning, the hammer was of course the intruders, di ba? Yung anvil, yung Marines. So the Marines during those times were willing to die, no, defending those islands with their salty boots on. Ganon ka na magpapakamatay, no? Ngayon na ano lang din ako kasi binomba ka ng tubig, atras ka na. So pero ngayon maganda. Dahil 'di ba, naglabas tayo, sabi ni Secretary Gilbert Chodoro ng strategic archipelagic defense concept, no? Yung lumabas na bago nila na 'di ba?
May marine exercises, 'di ba?
Ayan, meron din.
Australia and India yata.
Australia,
US.
Japan,
Japan
no?
and US.
That is a very welcome development. Kasi parang naman tayo binubuli lang tayo, nagpapabuli rin tayo.
Tama.
Kaya nga sabi na nung naglabas tayo, nag-sign si President ng Maritime yung executive order na yon. Sinasaluduhan ko nga siya pag lumalabas ako sa live sa FB Saludo ko kasi dapat ganon. Huwag tayong matitinag, huwag tayong paduduro. Kasi dinuduro tayo tapos ganon.